Hello. So, as I said previously, I'm back in my Samadhi garden back at home, at my current home. Uh, Very nice. I even got a stone to my left where I can put my headset. I'm sitting on the ground, not in the sun, but it's warm enough. My feet and legs are quite cold. It's, I was talking before just about the positive and negative aspects of Ritalin. What happened to my power? Yeah, it's working. Um, and that's one of the negative side effects, that that problem of cold feet gets worse, and that's a very old a very old problem of mine. And if you go into Chinese medicines and even like look at it from a more spiritual or energetic level, like a more subtle level, it's very obvious why I get these symptoms. But right now it's not that bad, so it doesn't really distract me. I'm always looking at, there's a wonderful big nice verbena, uh, no idea what's it in English, plant. I think I've pointed it out on one of my walks in the hospital area. Can Yeah, it should be somewhere in the picture, but anyway, picture never shows plants like they are in reality. The radiance coming off the plants, and right now it's just lit by sunlight, where surrounding area is still in shade, so it really jumps out at me. And it's a very powerful healing plant, and has some kind of consciousness opening, consciousness expanding effect, if you will. Does it? Yeah, I mean, all plants have that. It used to be a it's said to be have been a sacred plants like for the Celts, for example, for the Druids, and so on. But I'm not really sure of many things I've read in books, because if you read more, you notice how much, especially if it's about the past, a lot of things are just invented or maybe intuited, but mainly just one writer references another one, or doesn't even reference where. Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious, often in the representation of Chinese medical knowledge of plants in those books, that it's very superficial. And I don't want to be superficial with these things. I mean, right now my right foot is touching a plant of dandelion, and if I talk about this plant, it's really not superficial. It's especially the root. I mean, you can eat the flowers. They taste very nice. I think sometimes can be a bit bitter, but usually quite sweet actually. And you can put them in salad. But when you just take a walk, you can, in an unspoiled environment, of course, you can just eat the flowers, and they're nice, and they connect you with the landscape and the intelligence of nature, and just the energy prevailing, not only in the plants, but just in the whole surroundings. And yeah, wherever I look, I see healing plants and the like. And I guess the fact that I've taken my Ritalin this morning just enhances this. So yeah, it's good to prioritize in this way. I'm just seeing, like when I was mowing the lawn, I always left islands for flowers and plants, like flowers and herbs and so on, also for grasses, so the seed can be spread for next year. And now that's all gone. But I can't even look at the screen. I'm saying it's so magnificent, wonderful plants right now, and they're like backlit by the rising sun. I mean, can't really call it it's still rising, but it's 10 a.m. so it's the morning sun. Uh, and that makes them really radiant. I mean, now would be a perfect time to collect herbs. Um, and I really wanted to collect St. John's wort that was flowering here and there at some places in the garden, but now it's gone. Well, it's not flowering anymore, and also it has been cut. Too bad, because you can make a really nice ointment out of it. Really powerful healing oil or salve if you want to, which is really good for the back, for the spine, and for all bones and joints. So the areas where I've got lots of problems. And if you buy it, I guess it's like 10 euros for a little bottle, and definitely not strong, and definitely not infused with the energies of the surroundings and of the area and of the plant, and just your own interaction with the plant when you pluck it and so on. But just to reiterate to myself again, I've chosen my priorities, which I mean, St. John's wort is really valuable, but to me, I'm more valuable because I'm here to take care of me. I've been born to take care of me and my body first of all. So that's the most valuable thing to me, and same with everyone else. And this is, I think it's called ground ivy in English, and that's like my favorite plant to make herbal tea from. I find it extremely stimulating, cleansing, vitalizing, and so on. I read in books that it's supposed to be detoxifying, especially for heavy metals, but without the side effects that many other detoxifying plants have, where you can get skin rashes and all kinds of aches and problems, because they would liberate the heavy metals from the plants, but then the body might be too weak to actually eliminate it properly from the blood. So they start circulating in the body and causing more trouble, and then the body will try to eliminate it through the skin and so on. So you get skin problems, and that's like a very typical reaction from people who do like herbal detoxes and so on. But I never noticed anything like this. But it's just really feel refreshed after tea. But only in the springtime. Oh, there's still some roots. I really want to plant it again, but the ground is really bone dry and hard. So I guess I have to just leave it here. Just leaving here as an offering to whoever, whatever. It kind of breaks my heart to see it dying right now. But many plants have died since I've been here last. I will die too, but the important thing is that I make good use of my time and opportunities and potentials before I die. So once again, priorities. So I've not come here with any special idea of what to talk about in mind, but I brought some water first of all. Which is always really important for me. I guess for everyone. It depends. But if there's lots of things going on in your body metabolically and energetically, you have to stay hydrated, and usually that means lots and lots of water, especially if you have toxic substances like the medication I took. And I can really feel how after, especially after taking the Ritalin, how my body just needs so much more water. Yeah, but what I've brought is this electric acupressure pen and a plastic a Ziploc bag, because it's not really good quality. So if you hold it in your hands, it will give you electrical shocks. So I'm wrapping it and I'm switching it on, and I'll work on some acupuncture points while I continue. And the first one, since I cannot go on the website and muscle test for the right points right now, but I'll start with I think it's stomach 33 in Chinese. It's Zuzan Li. It means well, the 3 miles of the foot, the miles, like a distance. I guess it refers to some distance measurements within the body. So just about the location of the point. It's not something to do with being able to walk for 3 miles. Although that's a major strengthening point of the body, and I mean, you can remember the point in this fashion, that it will make you able to briskly walk for 3 miles and not be tired, and more than that. So it's in the stomach meridian, because there's like a hand 3 miles as well. So that's why I'm pretty sure that it's just about the distance. There are books which explain the Chinese names of acupuncture points, but there are errors in those as well. So you can't really always trust sources about traditional Chinese culture. For example, with Chinese characters, like as early as, I think, almost 2,000 years ago, people wrote books about the origin and an original meaning, like the pictorial meaning of the Chinese characters. And that has been copied many times. But then in the 19th and in the 20th century, it has, when there were some archaeological finds of ancient characters, it has been proven wrong in many places. So since the many aspects of the culture are so ancient, there's but same with like our culture, like I'm talking about the European heritage. There's a lot of misinformation too. When we go to the ancient Greeks and Egyptians and even Romans and so on, there's lots of misinformation just copied and just carried on through the centuries. But I'm totally digressing. So I'm focusing on this point, and I chose it because the stomach and spleen system in my body is really underactive, and I've only had some very few experiences where I felt it activated, and it totally changed the whole feeling in my body. So I guess if it would be constantly active, at least in a manner that other organs or meridian systems are active in my body, I would be much more like other people, and it would be easier for me to rest, relax, replenish myself, digest food, and actually derive energy from food. and just be more nourished and not so dependent on other systems like the kidney system, which is like totally depleted and over exerted in me, has been like all my life, because that's the one about willpower and discipline, also like just forcing yourself to do something, and also the connection to your ancestry, and to like more subtle levels, you might say, spiritual levels or your past lives. And so you draw energies from for one from your own reserve of vital energy, and also sexual energy, which is something that basically is highest as a child and will then decline over your life, though it's not 100% accurate, put it this way, because you can nourish even these very subtle kinds of energies, but well, according to ancient Chinese thoughts, aging is just mainly a symptom of the depletion of this kind of vital essence. And I mean, it's already been really depleted when I was much younger, but it seems that at the same time I'm somewhat able to replenish it again through my mental attitude and so on. So, because else I would have, really would have given in to sickness long time ago. So from that standpoint, I'm actually really strong and have got a lot of potential. The same, I don't know if that makes sense, but at the same time I'm really depleted and low in energy and kind of damaged. I can really feel it. Like for the past weeks or months, I've been more consciously, even more consciously than in the time before that, in monitoring my sexual energy, and I can really feel how low it has become compared to even definitely compared to when I was to the last time I was in a relationship. So that's gonna take some time to recover. It's got a lot to do with my lifestyle and also with all the medication I've been taking. I suspect that especially the painkillers I've been taking, that they really depleted this kind of energy. And of course, every medication you take, especially if it's like psychoactive, like psychiatric pharmaceuticals, they do change the way you act and think, your personality and your behavior and your lifestyle. So that's like a kind of a vicious circle. I know this, for example, with some antidepressants, which like within a couple of hours of taking the first pill, the food I'd crave would radically change, and I was like I couldn't stand any fresh and natural foods anymore, and I just craved processed foods and sugar, and like a complete reversal of everything. It's really interesting actually, but not so fun if you go through it. And then I remember back then when I took it, I told myself, okay, I've got this connection to my heart and my emotions going right now, and I know that this drug will influence that. Um, so I give it 1 week, and if after 1 week I'm not able to connect back to my heart, I'm gonna discontinue it. But I never did. So the connection I had back then, yeah, it's didn't the whole story didn't end well. That took another year from my life, in a way. Yeah, it seems that sometimes you've lived through 1 year and not much remains, especially only maybe some quite minuscule insight. Though maybe on other levels more remains. I mean, one good thing is always if you've lived through it, and if you've repeatedly lived through it, you will be more and more confident in asserting what is right for you, what you can feel is right for you, and when you know something is not right for you, because you don't want to go through something like these things once again. Okay, actually I wanted to focus more on my acupuncture points and what I feel there. And I wanted to tell about like the stomach and spleen system and what it does, and my experiences with it, why I chose to stimulate it right now. But don't feel like it right now. Got a bit of a headache. I'm not used to talking so much. So I'm continuing with a kidney point. Actually, the starting point of